Okay, think it's finally time. I admit it. I'm a closeted Pacers fan, and I know. Actually, I don't know what it is. I simply can't stop myself from tuning into an Indiana game, and I think a lot of it has to do with the future All-Star point guard Tyrese Haliburton. Side note, thank you, Phoenix, for doing the Phoenix thing. But Indiana fans have already assigned him the nickname Point Guard 2.0 after his berserk stretch of 40 assists, 0 turnovers in 3 games. This nickname is fitting as when we compare Point Guard 1.0 Christopher Emmanuel Paul in his 3rd season to Haliburton's 3rd/current season, the stats are very much so comparable. Since he's coming back from an elbow injury that'll only keep him out a total of hopefully 2 weeks, I thought it'd be an appropriate time to slow down and truly appreciate greatness when we see it. But before we jump into what makes him the next point guard, nay on the like button, hit the quan on the subscribe button as it helps me out tremendously. Also, you guys have been killing it on the last couple videos. We've been breaking our like record and close to making us a channel with triple digit subscribers. You guys are the freaking best. I appreciate you. Now, firstly, and most obviously, these two masterminds know how to get their teammates going. In CP3's 07-08 masterclass, he led the league in assists at 11.6 per game alongside being the steals leader at 2.7 a game. Probably should have been an MVP year for CP3 if we're keeping it real. But I understand, we gotta let Kobe get his flowers, but looking at Reese, we see he is also leading the league in assists at 10.2 at the time of this recording, while also being top 5 in the league in steals per game at 1.8. Taking into consideration that both were 22 in their 3rd seasons, and being in different eras, it's kind of eerie how similar the stats are. We definitely see influences of CP3 in Tyrese's game, as he is able to make the famous elbow jumper, is an above average finisher around the rim, a stellar lob passer, makes effective no-look passes, and assures to everyone that he's able to hit off the dribble or off the catch and shoot. It's Tyrese's world and we're just living in it. In terms of actual play style between the two, there are a fair amount of differences. For starters, CP3 is known as a passer that would, keep the dribble alive in situations to look for better passes, being extremely patient, and that's not at all to say that Tyrese isn't patient, but he is more willing to attack the gaps on defense, utilize the godforsaken jump pass and, look over the opposition in order to get the best look for his squad. Having the luxury of being a lengthy 6'5" point guard doesn't hurt, I can tell you that much, and I believe that very aspect is what makes Haliburton the upgraded version of the original point guard. Another difference in play style I see between the two is Haliburton's willingness to take and hit all different kinds of threes. It's almost becoming a staple in Tyrese's game to load up that unorthodox looking shot while in the process of taking a step back and bam! Hit that thing in the defender's mouth. Whoa. Advantage to number 0 in the 3-point efficiency category as well, as CP shot a high quality percentage of 38% on 3 shots. Not bad, but compared to our man's 40% on 7.5 attempts a game, edge definitely goes to Reese. Even in terms of true shooting percentage, Tyrese beats out CP3 61.3% to 57.6%. Now I know there's many other factors that go into being mentioned in the same breath as Chris Paul, such as leadership qualities, basketball IQ, and yes, clutchness. But quite frankly, I feel Tyrese has all of these qualities. We as basketball fans forget how complex the game of basketball truly can be, as even though these similar stats are tools for us to draw conclusions, we need to watch these games and factor in the context. So little more evidence of awarding Haliburton the term Point Guard 2.0 is the eye test, as we should address the absurdity we are witnessing out there. Some of the only turnovers that these two threw during their junior seasons in the league were dimes, in which teammates weren't ready for the amount of sauce they were getting delivered with. And even those instances were extremely rare. One of those stats that we talk about that's a good tool to, break down the complexity of the game for us is assist to turnover ratio. These gents are fairly comparable, as Tyrese is trailing behind CP3, having an astounding 3.9 ratio in comparison to CP3's godly 4.6 ratio. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and get this man his own State Farm commercial. We got Cliff Paul, let's do Marquise Haliburton, right? You like it, I like it. I'm telling you folks, there's no need to be nervous when joining the Haliburton hype train. He's shown to be a leader by making the right passes in crunch time, calling audibles when he sees a chip in the defense's armor, or taking the game over himself, catching fire with his red hot shooting. Sounds familiar, don't you think? I mean, we've seen time and time again Chris Paul being willing and able to make jaw-dropping dimes work for his teammates when the going gets tough and the double is sent his way. Or, as we've probably seen more than that, his ability to get to his bread and butter spot in ice games with a little mid-range action. Automatic. I do think though that this is another element where Tyrese could elevate his game, as he is a decent mid-range shooter, but the volume / consistency is not living up to par. Even the fact that the man shoots about just as many threes as he does twos shows you a couple things. First of all, thank you Advanced Stats and Stephen Curry for doing this to us. Secondly, he's not taking that many mid-ranges, as most of these 2-point attempts are at the rim anyway. And third, he is just a smart-ass player, making the easiest shots that are available. But those middies are what Indiana is going to need in their return to winning a round in the playoffs, which they haven't done since 2015. If it weren't for his elbow injury, the starting guard spot in the East All-Star game might have slipped to Tyrese. But what do you think? Is this just a way too early and kind of sounding like a hot take to you? Do you believe in the crazy looking shot that Holly has? And why is Wally Szczerbiak such a goddamn bum?
This bum ass Wally Szczerbiak.
Y'all let me know down in the comment section below, and as always, y'all have a phenomenal rest of your day.